I'm going to show you everything about digital products that I know now after selling digital products worth over 1 crore in the last 5 years. No gatekeeping, and I'm also going to share a free template with you to help you finalize your niche or domain if that's something you're confused about. Hi, I'm Tejal Chopra, and I left my high paying corporate job 8 years ago to start my own digital business. I started from freelancing, then successfully running my marketing agency, and now what I do is create and sell my own digital products, and I've been doing this for the last 5 years. Today, I'm going to tell you what I wish I knew back when I was starting with digital products. No BS, no fluff, just real value from my journey. Let's get started. But first, take a pen and paper if you'd like to take notes because this is going to be comprehensive. I have my notes right here so that I don't miss out on sharing anything that I want to share with you. And I have my iPad, so let's get started. First of all, before getting into the how, I want to discuss the what because I do get this question a lot with respect to what exactly are digital products and how can we identify them. Well, they are all around you and you've used so many of them. It's just a matter of not realizing. In very simple terms, digital products are products that you sell, you create, you sell, and you deliver them all online without touching them. They're not something that you can touch like this phone. They are something that are delivered to your customers inbox, email inbox directly. That's how they function. Some of the examples I'm going to share with you, which will help you get more clarity about them. You would have seen people using design templates, budgeting templates, mini courses, master classes, apps, guides, ebooks. A lot of people love reading ebooks, love learning from ebooks. So basically, all of that counts and comes under digital products. The key here is that all of these processes happen online. Now, what is not digital products is also important for me to cover right here because a lot of people get confused. Basically, anything that is POD, which is print on demand, like you would have seen books that are print on demand or t shirts that are print on demand, these are not digital products. They don't under the digital category because they are something that you can touch and feel in your hand. So even though people do sell these, they don't come under digital products specifically. And today we are going to go deeper into all of this stuff which is completely online. Why are we talking about it? We have always spoken about how digital products. I speak about it a lot, so you might have heard me say this multiple times that they are no hassle. They don't need any shipping, inventory management, warehouse, returns. All of that is not needed because it's all online. It literally happens systematically and automatically. Of course, you have to set up the systems initially so that then things can run smoothly. But today I'm going to talk about the why from a different lens. I'm going to talk about the industry, how digital products have been working for the last few years, and what is the current growth rate. You would be surprised and really shocked to know that they are growing. They, like digital products as an industry, are growing at a cumulative growth rate of 26%. This is something I found out recently when I was reading a report, and which actually means that in the next 5 to 7 years, they would have grown by 3.5 times, meaning the industry is already at an all time high, and that would actually become 3.5 to 4 times in the coming few years, like less than a decade, which is insane. It like literally is blowing my mind. The next thing here is about smartphones. How many people had smartphones? That is the penetration all across India as well as the globe was very different a few years ago. Post the pandemic, the smartphone penetration has increased insanely and it is not stopping, which leads to a lot of people consuming content on their devices, whether that's short form content, paid content, free content. They're learning on the devices. Students are learning on their phones itself. People are buying things on their phone. People are consuming things on the phone. People are learning on the phone. People are getting entertained on the phone. Everything has sort of come from all of the major devices. Like still people use laptops, but the penetration of smartphones has increased so much that a lot of places which did not have accessibility to internet or a laptop or a computer now have access to all of these things because of the smartphone in their hand, because of the internet connection they have, which also aids digital products because all of these things happen online from this in people's hands, which they consume all day every day. I'm guilty of that too. And the next thing right here is the Asia Pacific market. Asia Pacific market is the market I serve, a lot of you are serving or are aiming to serve. This market is the fastest growing geography right now for digital products. The reason of that is, of course, the smartphone penetration here, but also the population here, and overall as a geography, with how things are changing, how fast growth is happening, it is also affecting the industry and how it's shaping the businesses that are being built, and the money that people are being able to make in the digital products business. So if you are not riding on this tide, if you've not started thinking about it or not building your first product already, you should. And I am going to share the exact steps with you right here today. Before coming to the how, I also want to address something which a lot of people actually are very confused about. Let's not do the how here, let's do the how next. A lot of people think that if digital product market is growing and everything is happening as well as you're saying, then why do we need to create our own products? Why can't we actually go in for MRR or PLR, something like that? Now, for those of you who don't know what MRR or PLR is MRR stands for master resale rights and PLR stands for private label rights. Basically, these are cases in which you buy people's products and then sell them. Like, you get the rights to sell them as your product. In this case, the customer base is not essentially yours because the product is hosted by someone else. You're just um, selling to people and giving them access to this person's product. So you don't have any material control in case of MRR. In case of PLR, you can control and change things. But in both of these cases, the knowledge that you're sharing with the world via the product is not yours, which affects a lot. Number one, it affects marketing, because a lot of, like, a major part of marketing anything involves storytelling. And when you are selling someone else's story, you cannot, like, I'm not saying it's wrong, but one cannot be authentic to a story that is not theirs. Like, I can tell my story, I can share about my journey over the last 8 years, because that is my own. I've made my own mistakes. The story is mine, the journey is mine, the failures are mine, the successes are mine. So I can share it from that perspective. But when I'm selling other people's products in a domain or a niche that I'm not even knowing about, let alone be an expert about, then that does not help me sell better. It does not convey my message right to the customer. And frankly, it's not doing justice to the customer, because I'm selling them something which they want help with probably, but I'm not the best person to sell that to them. So it affects the entire equation. It doesn't help with my marketing. It actually affects it in a negative way. It also affects the customer experience, in my opinion. And another major part of it is that you're relying on another person's products, courses. Tomorrow, someday, something happens, they withdraw, they change things, you would be left high and dry with nothing in your hand. You had a course till yesterday and today it's gone. So there is zero reliability on that front. So I rather have you build things which have 100% reliability, because they depend on you. The reliability is on you, the profits are on you. Now, in a lot of these cases, you do get to keep 100% of the payment that you are making, like in case of resale rights. But there are constraints there. You cannot sell below a certain number. There are certain pricing restrictions. There's a lot that goes on in this industry. So I strongly recommend that you keep 100% of your profits. The reliability of your business is your own, and the marketing that you do is authentic, and hence the sales that you see from here are insane. Of course, it can take time. Both of these things will take time. You cannot start a random MRR business and have it grow insanely, because you won't have the product. Like, in this case, you would have the product, but you would not have the audience. You will have to build that from scratch anyways. So it's better, if you're doing all of that effort, you build something that is built from your own expertise, is authentic to your journey, is something 100% reliable for you, and that puts all the money in your pockets. So you don't have to worry about any single thing changing out there in the world. You don't have to have any stress. You can be authentic to your customer, and you can deliver your best value, because you are picking a topic that you are an expert in, that you can deliver in. So I strongly recommend not to go in for MLR, PLR. Based on my entire journey of the last 8 years in the online world, 5 years in digital products, this is what I stand by. And I can literally put a stamp on it and say, do this. It works. It's proven to work. Now, coming to the how of digital products. That is, what is the process? How do you go about it? What do you focus on? So, basically, the first thing that you focus on right here is your niche selection, which is something you do based on your zone of genius, your expertise. So this is something you pick. Again, you pick this based on something you have expertise in, whether that's from work experience you've done, personal experience you've had, formal education, any formal degree course you've done, or something that you're passionate about, have learned by yourself, have implemented, have gotten results. Again, comes under personal experience. It's something that people come to you for. And if you have these things on top of your mind and you're confused about, I have these three things that I like or I'm a good at, but I don't know which one should I pick. This is something I did a degree in, but I'm not interested in it as much. This is something I have experience in and I'm interested in. And this is again the same. So I don't know how to pick. I see a lot of people with this confusion. That's the reason I created a tool, which is the niche selection tool for you. It will help you like answer some questions, and it will mathematically give you a result of which should be the niche you should pick for your own digital products. I'm going to link the tool, the free, like for free, in the description below. You can go and check it out. And if you already know what is your zone of genius, what is something you're deeply interested, passionate, and have experience in, basically I would say the only key here is that you should have solved the problem that you want to solve for other people, for yourself. That's all. If you've done that, no matter if you are 100 steps ahead of someone or 10 steps ahead of someone, you can do this, because you're going to be helping someone who's at step 0 when you are at step 5 or step 10, which is all right. So pick the niche. Step 2 is pick a problem inside that niche. So a niche is like your zone of genius. Like, for example, if I am interested in fitness, then fitness or yoga, in this case, let's say, is my niche. But what is the problem that I'm picking in here? Like, when it comes to yoga, I can do yoga for weight loss. I can do yoga for flexibility. I can do yoga for prenatal or postnatal. I can do yoga for elderly, joint movement. So there's like a whole array out there, and these are things I know, not being any what aware in terms of how yoga works. I'm just talking from basic experience or basic things that I've heard of. So if this is the niche, then you have to go inside the niche and pick a problem you've solved for yourself that you want to help other people solve. So if you've solved some problem for yourself with respect to your niche, whether that's via degree or your experience, you had a problem, you created a solution for yourself, you implemented the solution, it worked for you. So you have a result that you've achieved by implementing a solution. That is the problem that you would pick here. A lot of times people still have an idea of the niche they want, but they are not clear on what problem should they pick for themselves in this case. So here what I recommend is that if you have an idea about the niche, start creating content around the different problems in that niche, the ones that you're interested in, and just go with the flow. For 60 to 90 days straight, create content on different sorts of problems that are out there that you can solve, that can be solved inside your niche. And doing that will give you clarity, like way more clarity in terms of what are the problems people are consistently coming to you back with again and again, that they need more and more help with it. Your content direction will shift accordingly, and you'll get a lot more clarity on exactly what should be your first product or what should be the problem you should solve with your first product. So if you don't have idea, do content creation for 60 to 90 days. If you have an idea about the problem, you can still start content creation again, but around the problem that you already have picked. This is the step 2. Very, very, very important. A lot of times people confuse 1 and 2 as together. Like, if I've picked fitness, I'll help people become fit, which is very generic. Helping youngsters become fit, kids become fit, elderly become fit, and in what respect is fitness for them in terms of their weight, their strength, their flexibility, their stamina, what? So basically, defining the problem and actually making it a specific problem is what is going to help you, not picking something and not doing something absolutely randomly. Then moving on, the third thing right here that you will pick is a solution for the problem, which of course you would know. If you have a problem that you've solved for yourself, you know what the solution you want to deliver it is. But what is the mode of delivery of the solution? That is the type of product you will create to deliver the solution, because you can create like a range or array of products that go from ebooks, PDF guides, templates, masterclasses, AI tools, calculators, bundles. Like, sky is the limit with what you can do in terms of digital products. And that is the reason I see people get confused with what their first product should be. So you have to pick the solution based on what is the best format for you to create, as well as for your person to consume, to get the solution out there. Like, if you can give them certain templates that you can use for the problem that you're solving, that will be the fastest solution for them. So you should absolutely do that. But in case it has a learning curve, you need to explain things, you need to show them things, that maybe you could do a bundle which has certain video trainings, some workbooks, some textual formats, something they can see and then do and implement. So based on the problem, the type of solution, you have to decide is what will be the best, the easiest way for them to consume and get the result from. And I also have an edge here. It should also be something which is easy for you to create. Because if you pick something such that maybe, let's say, a 30-hour long exhaustive course to create, and if it's your first product, I can bet chances are you're not going to complete it, not in the first 3 to 4 months, which is not the case with what I want you to do with digital products. You can create your products in like a weekend's time to maximum a week's time. Your products need to be that specific, that like consumable for the user, because no one right now has the time to see 30-hour long courses as well. So you need to create something which is doable, effective for you in a specific amount of time, and also consumable and effective as a solution for your user. If you want to know exactly what you can put in your first product for it to be sellable and effective and easy to create, you can check out this video that I've added above. I will also link it in the description. It includes everything that your first product needs to have, so that you don't delay creating it, and then it can be out there and start giving you results in terms of sales as well. Okay, moving on. The next step is actually setting up the very important aspect. A lot of times we say that these are delivered automatically, but that doesn't happen by itself. You set up a system. It takes upfront work, but it doesn't need to be something that every time someone buys, you need to do this. It is just that once you've set up the system, automatically, whenever a sale happens, the product will be delivered to the other person's inbox. And that is the systems that you set, which is basically payment and delivery, such that you don't need to worry, you don't need to have your GPay open and every time be guiding a person who wants to buy from you. You can actually just have a product page out there which gives them multiple payment options, takes the payment, delivers the product all automatically. You can use tools like Superprofile, beginner and affordable tools out there, or you can also use tools like Topmate. Some of these are actually very affordable, some are free. You can get started with any of them. In terms of commission based payments, they charge you only when you make a sale, so you can go in for that kind of arrangement, or something which is absolutely like charges you very less, like Superprofile is 99 rupees per month to get started with for the first month. And if you do everything right that we're talking about, you can get your first sale within your first month and then pay for the tool next month onwards as well. I think it's 499 after that. It keeps changing, so go check it out. But definitely, I'm sure that this is the 99 per month is where you start with. So Topmate again is absolutely free, but you have to pay, I think, 10% every time you make a sale, which is again something you can do, because you have to pay only when you make a sale. The key here is I don't want you to delay the process. So this, like, Superprofile, like, literally lights a fire under you that you need to get the product out there in the first month, because you want to pay for the tool in the upcoming months using the sales you've made. You just have to, like, your only bet is the first 99 rupees here. The remaining you can actually start by earning from your product. Even if it's just 1-2 sales in the beginning, that's all you need to do to set the system in motion. You can get started with these tools. These are amazing for beginners. Or if you have your own website already, maybe you have a business, you have a website, Then you can use payment processing tools like Razorpay or Stripe with your own website, wherein the delivery will be taken care of by your website and the payment processing will be done by these tools. So you can use them, but if you're getting started, again, strongly recommend using tools like Superprofile or Topmate because they handle all of the stuff for you. That is the tech that needs to go into building a website on any other platform. Takes more work, takes more effort, takes more time, and sometimes money as well, which is not needed in the beginning. So you can choose based on what stage you're at. Then the next step right here is after you're done with creating the product, setting up systems, setting up a page, pricing it, all of the good stuff, then is when you have to launch your product, which is done via content creation. That is something that is crucial to selling digital products, especially if you want to do it organically. Even if you want to use ads in future to sell your digital products, I 100% recommend starting organically. So based on what I teach my students, they start creating content at this stage. Like when I told you to start creating content, in case you're not sure about the problem, even if you've picked a problem, you start creating content at this stage such that by the time that you launch on day one itself, you get sales. That is possible when you have an audience, even if it's a small audience and you're starting from a brand new account here, and you take all of this process and you do it in like a week to 2-3 weeks, you will still have some people who are aware about your product when you launch. And of course, this is also done strategically. It's not that randomly you throw it on them. First, you start with content creation. Then just before you launch, you do some pre-launch content that is exclusively focused on getting people aware about what's coming. And then launch content, of course, helps them move from someone who's just interested to actually buying from you. So launching is done via strategic content. Can be done. It's not as hard as people make it sound. It just needs effort from you. That's all. Because content creation takes effort, and I want you to start it sooner than later to get into the habit of it, such that when you launch, again, you get sales. You start seeing sales from day one itself. Now, after you're done with launching and your initial urgency moment is over, how do you continue to keep getting sales after that day in and out? Because with low ticket digital products, you cannot be like the launch is open only for 5 days and after that I can't sell. You have to sell. So for that, again, organically you can do it with content, or you can do it with paid ads as well. Even if you do paid ads, I do recommend some amount of organic content creation. So you do like a combination of organic plus ads or only organic. Frankly, I have grown to 5 lakh months with only organic content creation. I am exploring ads right now to scale it even further, but till that point I didn't see the need to start investing money and start learning and putting my time right there. So that's what I have done. You can take a call based on what you want to do. This helps you build a very solid brand. So I don't want you to give up on this. The key here is that when you're selling it consistently on an everyday basis, you cannot be hyper promotional about daily just selling, pitching. Your content has to have a combination of value plus a soft pitch. And you can explore it with different content angles, some more on the promotional bit, some light on the promotional bit, some storytelling, some value with actionable strategies. So there's like a whole lot of content creation differently that you can do out there to continue to do this. So but that this needs like daily content creation, especially if you're doing things only organically. This is what you will be doing for daily sales. This is what I did and nothing more. Daily content creation is equal to daily sales. Gradually you build this engine and it's totally worth it. Another key piece here amidst this system that we mentioned right here is automation. So basically, as you start growing, it gets difficult to manually be answering to the inquiries or queries that people have. And automation also helps you, like, helps your content work even when you're not online, which you don't need to be. The idea is that digital product businesses can be set up in a way that they're almost passive, not completely passive, but almost passive, such that you come, you create content, and you go. And then your content does its job with the help of automation. So it's basically people see your content, people take action that you tell them to take, that is maybe commenting a particular keyword or DMing a particular keyword, which leads to link being sent, link or resource in their DMs. This step happens automatically because of automation tools like ManyChat, or even Superprofile has this feature called auto DMs. There are a lot of other tools out there that are there for automation. Personally, these are the only two ones that I have used, but there are other tools also that you can totally explore. But this automation thing helps your business function in a more smooth, passive manner that you would eventually like. An only important FYI here is that if you are starting with a new Instagram account, I recommend for the first 30 days, you don't turn on automation. It's just to keep you a little bit safer. You do all of the interaction manually, such that if people request resources, you go chat with them manually in the DMs, deliver those resources to them, not in a bot or a spammy fashion. Manually write the messages as opposed to having copy pasted messages everywhere, just for the first 30 days. After you're done with that, you can set up these any of the approved meta tools for automation on Instagram and run with that. But it's highly like it's very beneficial because it helps your business grow considerably and also get you way more leads and sales when you have automations on. So I recommend it. In my opinion, if you want to replace your day job, or if you want to build something on the side as a student, or as someone who has a full-time job, or even if you're looking to just make some additional amount on the side for your own dreams, for your own life, maybe for your own kids, whatever your goals are, in my opinion, digital products are one of the best ways to do it out there. It needs lesser setup time. It can be more automated. That's why a little bit more passive on things. And once you start getting the hang of content, you start nailing it. So it's a great option to explore. But again, consistency is the key here. It takes time to set up in the beginning, it takes time to start seeing results, which gradually then compound because content creation is a major part of it. So if you keep going bit by bit by bit by bit, you will keep growing, and gradually it will show you the highs you would have never imagined. A side hustle or something as, I would not say easy, but simplified as digital products are, can help you with. If you're stuck with what is the niche that you should pick for your digital products, then watch this video next. It will make things crystal clear for you. I'll see you there.